Let's take you now to Midtown, a popular restaurant now experiencing a shooting that has left one person hurt. Let's bring in Mara Siriani with the breaking details. Mara, what do we know led up to this?
Well, Aisha, witnesses here describing a chaotic scene, bullets flying, blood on the sidewalk, and patrons ducking for cover. Stay with us as we zoom in. It says right here on the front door, no weapons allowed, but that certainly did not stop who police say are two employees here at Raw from getting into it last night. So the shooting happened around 10:30, and let's show you some video from the area. Atlanta police at one point had the entire area blocked off as they worked to investigate. They say it all stemmed from an altercation, again, between two employees here at Raw. We talked to a bartender at nearby sugar factory. He said one of the chefs at Raw attacked a security guard after getting into a fight with a bartender that resulted in those gunshots.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see too much because I'm trying to save my life, but there was just so much commotion. There was servers, staff, everyone just running, trying to get out of the way. 5 minutes later, there's security outside, there's blood on the sidewalk. It's just not what you expect in Midtown.
And the investigation, of course, is in the hands of APD. Aisha, no arrests have been made at this point, at least that we've been made aware of.
All right, Mara, when you think about all those people in the chaotic scene, do we know if anyone was injured or caught in the crossfire?
It was certainly a reckless thing to do here. As you heard that witness say, there were patrons walking around again 10 o'clock last night here in Midtown. I don't know if anyone was caught in the crossfire. We also aren't sure at this point. Police not really saying much about the condition of the victim. But of course, as we learn anything new, we'll update this story on air and online as well.
Thank you. All of these breaking news stories are developing as we speak. As we learn more details, we will be sure to update you on 11 Alive's news app and also on 11alive.com. Of course, if you have any information about the incidents, please give police a call.